The G-Wade Podcast with Deacon Dirty.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy G-Wade holding it down, G-Wade Podcast, and I'm kicking it alongside with my man Deacon Dirty. And we got a special guest in the building, Calandra Gantt, a.k.a. award-winning, a.k.a. the Princess of Praise, is in the house. What's up?
What's going on, G-Wade? Deacon Dirty. I couldn't say it like him, but I am so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, it's such a pleasure. We had talked about this a little while ago.
Yeah.
I think the last time was at the Spin Awards.
That was a great time.
That was a great time.
That was a great time.
A little far out there.
Yeah, it was.
It was in Chicago, but it was still nice though.
Yeah, it was. I like
really nice venue.
Yeah, I went on that side of town and I didn't leave that side of town. I was not going back and forth in the traffic.
So where's the hotel at?
Yes, I was not doing it.
I should have thought the same.
Yep, I'm telling you.
But so how's everything been going for you? We're gonna back up, so we like to get all into your business and all that kind of stuff.
I know it.
Just for starters, how's everything going with you right now?
It's going well. It really is. The music is going well. Just released the second single.
Sweeter and sweeter.
Sweeter and sweeter. Bless His Name is doing well. We're still pushing that one. It's doing well on the Billboard's charts, most added. And now Sweeter, because I went to my supporters and said, hey, which one of these two songs, Sweeter or Praise Anthem, do you want? And everybody was digging Sweeter.
Okay.
So, if they're the ones listening, they're the ones supporting, I was like, okay, well, we're going to do this. And I did it kind of my way, didn't do it a kind of way to what the industry says do it.
Gotcha.
And I kind of beat, march to my own drum and my beat, and it works for me. So it's doing well.
And when you say my way, what does my way mean?
Industry says you release singles like on Fridays or certain days,
Thursdays,
right? And I just, I kind of listen to what God says, and then when He says, okay, let it go, then I let it go. Not saying that I have not done it that way, but now in this season, I've just been making a lot of decisions based upon being my true self.
Okay.
And really listening to what God says do, because I found out that if I do it that way, I'm really never going to go wrong.
Right.
People don't understand it, but it's cool if they don't. Because it still works out.
Okay.
It works out. So that's what I mean. I don't knock it. I don't anything like that. I just kind of go with my own flow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's back this thing up a bit.
Okay.
We're gonna start from ground zero. So you are an original Georgia peach.
I'm Georgia all the way, peach, everything. Okay. I'm from the South. Every now and then I have to control that little twang that comes into my speech, especially when I was in the corporate world. But born and raised, I'm a Grady baby.
Okay.
As they would say, those that know in Atlanta, they know what I'm talking about when you a Grady baby.
That would be Deacon Dirty. He original.
Grady baby, grew up on the South Side, Southwest Atlanta, Oakland City, West End, Ben Hill area. Yeah, I'm
don't play
sweet,
with
but
me.
I'm from the South, No, I'm just playing, but and went to everything was music. Went to a performing arts school for high school, studied 2 years at Morris Brown, then went to Milner School of Music. So everything, has been music.
Always centered around
music, even as a child. So I can't, even if I wanted to, I don't think I would be doing anything else besides music.
Okay.
Whether because I'm teaching it.
Oh wow.
With kids and stuff. So everything is centered around music.
So how did that become? What was the moment? How old were you? How was it discovered? Were you sitting in church and all of a sudden?
Well, what the funny thing is,
singing Saturday morning cartoons?
No, you know what? I don't. My mom, bless her soul, lost her last year. She would say, that it was because I was sitting on the bed. You see one of them little dum-dum suckers, the little bit suckers? Had one of them sit on the bed. She said I choked on it and she hit me in the bed. That's why I got the vocal cords I got. But I believe that the Lord blessed me in the womb for it to come out that way. But ever since the age of 3, my grandfather, he plays piano. He's 90 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And sings. I am the only one in my family that really sings musically inclined to sing.
Okay.
They try, but they don't capture it quite well. But
are you the only child? You have
no,
siblings?
I have a younger sister.
Okay.
And then I have other sisters and brothers from my stepdad's side,
Gotcha.
and all of that. But 3 years old, my grandfather always had me in the midst of choirs.
Oh, okay.
That's why the beginning of my career, I directed choirs. So I was always, they was like, who is this little yellow girl standing up here with this white hat on? I'm the lightest thing in the choir stand, standing with all these older people.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's like around the age of 13 or something like that, right?
No, I was up there like three years old. But that's where harmonization, I learned that from my grandfather. And then at the age of 5 and all those things, I started taking piano lessons. So I was playing instruments by the age of 5, and then directing choirs by the age of 9. And so I've always done music.
Okay.
And it's because, and then they would take me around singing at different churches in Atlanta, my grandmother. And so I could not get away from it. So went to school, was in chorus, was in band, and but it started at a very early age. But I knew, at first I thought I was going to be a lawyer.
Okay.
Because I love crime stories and all that stuff. Then I thought I was going to be a teacher, but I ended up still being a teacher, but not the regular way of teaching.
Gotcha.
But it started about that time. So I can't complain. Like I said, everything I've been surrounded has been music. So I was playing pianos, drums, clarinet and violin a little bit. So all of these different instruments. And
like
then
Prince, playing everything.
Well, you won't catch me on stage like Prince though, because they might put me out. But we do a little bit of little bit of everything. But voice is my main instrument. Okay. That I focus on. So music. I said at one point music saved my life. Because even in college, at one point, I had vocal nodules on my vocal cord, so they told me I wouldn't sing.
Oh wow.
But I think that was just a pivotal point in my life, because my attention, I was doing so many other things that I shouldn't have been doing. And I should have been focused on the music. So of course you lose your scholarship, you have to, but then that's when I pivoted. So you're saying
that's what happened to you?
That's what happened to me. I'm very transparent. That's what happened to me. Went through surgery. They were able to, fix it. I believe I was healed, and I know that I was. And then from there I went to a career, and that's when I started traveling.
Gotcha.
That's when I really started doing my career, my second year in college, and didn't turn back. So it really was a pivotal point in my life. But music is who I am, though.
Well, I see that you got saved at the age of 9.
Yep.
Now let me ask you this question: how does a 9-year-old know that the Lord is calling, that giving your life to Christ is the thing, and you know it?
Yeah. It was, and it wasn't.
Sometimes the parents like going up there, baby.
Yeah, and I can honestly say my parents and grandparents never. My grandparents, because that's who I was around most of all. My mom worked a lot.
Gotcha.
They never pushed me. I knew it was something different about me. Now, of course, at 9 years old, you have an understanding, but do you really have an understanding of what you're doing? But I knew, like at that time, never would have known I would have went into ministry either. But people always say there's a calling, but you have to know and be ready to accept that calling. Just because somebody tell you that don't mean you walk into it. Right.
But what was the thing? What did you feel? Or what would you hear?
It was just a pull. Okay. Because I did not know what was going to take place, but I knew that I wanted to do it. Okay. I nobody had to tell me, go do it, you need to do it. They never did that. But I knew that I wanted to get closer to God. I wanted to get closer. And I had the understanding that was one of the outward steps that you take, because it's an inward process, but that's an outward symbolism of you. Okay, you getting ready to you part of the body of Christ now, and all those good things. So that's how that was,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And directing choirs by the age of 13, is that?
Yeah. I was I was for my home church, I was the music minister for years. I never served in another church. I just recently left right before the pandemic because my outside ministry was moving so.
Okay.
And I'm the type of person that if you're going to be in a position, you need to be committed to it. So eventually my schedule didn't allow me to do praise and worship, be over the youth ministry as youth pastor and all these different things. So I had to kind of make a decision to like give it up. But I was there for years, served in various capacities. But started directing choirs, youth choir, praise and worship leader, just combined choir, just whatever was needed. Yeah. That's what I was doing.
Wow. Yeah. And so you said it, and then at some point you started the outside ministry started really kicking in. Yeah. When you're young, I ain't driving, so people driving me, so I'm limited. But once I got of age and really was like, okay, this is gonna be my career, because I worked a job, but that job wasn't my career. Right. The job was just a means to supply funds for the career until the career could start making money for me. So once it started picking up, and then I found myself not being able to be there on Sunday mornings, or I would have to leave service because I got to travel or come back in late, because I would come off the road and then go to an 11 o'clock service, go home, change clothes, and then get right back out and have to get to a service. So it became a lot. And I knew that I was just being pulled because it was being elevated. So, it was just like, it's still my home church. I got a great foundation there, great ministry foundation, but I knew that there was more for me. Okay. Now, what would you say to the person who they want, because everybody talks full-time ministry. And I always say, and this, I could be wrong with what I'm about to say, but it's what I always say. Well, the moment you became a believer, you began full-time ministry. Well, I get what they mean. They want to go sing full-time, but you're in it full-time.
Well, we're all ministers. When we come into the body of Christ, we just minister in different ways. Musicians are ministers. They minister on the instruments. I think it just gets to a different level when you go full-time. That means you got to be careful with that and make sure, though, that you're called to do it. That's what I'm saying, right? Because you still need finances to do full-time ministry.
And you got to live.
You got to pay bills, because Georgia Power don't care nothing about me being in a full-time ministry.
Hallelujah, won't get it.
They want their money when the light bill due. So I had to, it's a great faith walk. Understand, I came from a corporate world working 15 years, and then I left after 15 years to take care of my grandmother, and then she passed, and never went back, because then I transitioned into full-time, but I always had something to supplement my income. Gotcha. You got to have at least 7 forms of income coming in.
7 streams.
7 streams of income or more.
Or more.
Don't
that passive income, the kind you ain't got to go serve your straight time for.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a big affirmations person. So anything that I want manifested, I kind of speak it.
There you go.
So I always say, I ask God, I said, Lord, I need the income. I need a job, job, whatever it is, part-time, whatever it is. But I don't want to sacrifice the ministry. That was my whole key. And I can honestly say that my gift has made room for me. And you got to be able to know your worth when you do full-time ministry, to know everything you can't do for free. I don't care what your ministry is.
Give me that love offering, though.
I mean, love offering is fine.
Well, how much do you love me? That's what I need to know.
Well, I think that, there is a season where you pay your dues. There's a season where you
I've
go
been stuck in New York before, so I'm saying.
Listen, there's a season where you will do quite a few things where you don't receive money.
Yeah.
When you're building your reputation, when you're building the groundwork or the foundation. But then there comes a point as you elevate and your ministry changes and you create your brand.
Yeah.
It costs money to keep your brand. And that's what God showed me, is that it's okay for you to say, this is what it takes for me to bring this representation to you. Can you work with me on this? Gotcha. And some people can, some people can't. But those that want you, they will. And then be led to say, okay, I'm going to do this one because God say do it, because it could open up a bigger door.
Absolutely.
So you really got to be, you got to be able to say no and still be able to live.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
I think that's what people become afraid of.
Yeah.
Of saying no, because you miss an opportunity, even if it's just for $25,
right?
But then you're like, well, they ain't gonna ever call me again. You know that sort of thing.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because if they called you, somebody else will call you.
Oh,
if you are presenting a spirit of excellency, let me say
absolutely.
that. If what you're putting out there is a sound that everyone has, and there's an audience for everybody. That's what I tell a lot of artists. I say you don't have to compromise. You have an audience. You just got to find who that audience is.
No, you're absolutely right about that, because you can have, excuse me, 100,000 followers, but really only 1,500 of them are true supporters.
Listen,
or you can have 10,000 followers and all 10,000 showing you love. Yeah,
and that's the truth. Because I actually went. I'm the type of person that. It's more than just singing on a stage. I make it a point to know the business side.
Yeah.
It's ministry and then it's business. And with me taking classes, and studying under some people, I found out that, all these people that got 100,000 followers, all of them are not their supporters. It's a difference. They just following them to keep up with what's going on.
Spectators.
But when it come down to monetization and making it profitable, you need the true, that we call them true fans or true supporters, that's going to sow into what you're doing, because that's what counts.
Have you found it excuse me, have you found it better, or have you found more support outside of your circle? You know what I mean? Like home versus abroad and everywhere else you go.
Let me use this example. And like I said, I love my church.
Y'all good.
I love my church. That's my disclaimer. You will not hold G Wade and Deacon Dirty responsible for what I'm about to say. Listen, I love my church, but I found, because they heard me every Sunday.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get a lot of support in my outside ventures, because and when you think about it, if they hear you every Sunday for free, why would they pay to hear you on the outside? So sometimes it's I read this meme one time, will say the strangers will make me a millionaire before my friends will.
True that.
Because your friends, they get it. They're around you.
That's just Calandra.
Yeah, that's just Calandra.
That's CC.
What's up? Listen, but that's who. And there's a few of them. Let me say this: there are a few that will support you. That's why,
AKA Deacon Dirty.
Okay. There are a few, but more than likely, it's hard to get your friends just to buy your single for 99 cents.
You're right.
But they will buy so and so. I'm not naming names because I don't want nobody coming after y'all. They will buy somebody else for $1.29, but won't spend 99 cents, the cost of a hamburger, where it used to be, but inflation has gotten us all. Just to support with 99 cents.
Yeah.
So it blows my mind sometimes, but that's the nature of this. That's the culture.
Yeah, and I don't think no one has been able to escape that.
Right.
You know what I mean? No artist or whatever it is you're doing. I guess unless you're becoming a doctor or something like that. When it comes to the arts, it's hard to get to people.
They want a discount.
Yeah. Let me in for free.
Or they don't want to. I'm just that type of person that I don't care if you make jewelry. I don't want you to give me a discount. I'm gonna pay full price for it, because that's your business.
Yes.
It ain't got nothing to do with our friendship. That's your business. But if I'm your friend, I'm gonna support your business.
Yeah.
So that drove me to create a lot of platforms and do a lot of things with other people in this industry to change the culture or to change the mindset of the people that we are around.
Gotcha. Okay. And so moving around and doing your how has the pandemic, I guess at this point that's now in continuation,
I know, right?
Has affected your music, your ministry? How has it?
Well, it actually, I told somebody when the pandemic first came in, it was interesting because I had more money during the pandemic. I guess because I was not.
People say that.
Yeah, I guess because I was not spending money nowhere. I was sitting in the house. But for us creatives, what it made everybody do is stop being complacent.
There you go.
and stop being comfortable in where they at. They had to come up with a game plan, because most of us are used to touring. That's where you make your money from.
Right.
Of course, our tour, we only did one date because it got shut down during the COVID. So we had to get creative and do a virtual. The next stop, we had to do virtual tour. But in the pandemic, I wrote a book that I had been working on but never released it. So the book came out. I finished the single. So it pushed you to come out of the comfort zone and make things happen. If not, you're going to go broke.
You're going to go broke.
You know,
figure it out. Yeah.
But I can honestly say I was stacking more money in the pandemic.
So you had to buy no gas.
I ain't had to go nowhere. Had to go out and eat, because when we travel, we eat out a lot.
Of course.
You know, but you had to listen. It was a blessing for me, you know, and it made you sit down a minute and say, what am I really doing? What am I doing? Because we really just go, and we don't sit still and be like, man, I don't really need that. Do I really need that? Or I'm just spending money because I got money and do it. So it was a self-evaluation, but I can honestly say the ministries that I was working with, they just shifted, and I stayed working with those ministries even through the pandemic.
Even through.
So that was a blessing with that.
Okay. And as far as church is concerned, of course, churches had to go virtual and that sort of thing. In fact, I believe churches even picked up probably more viewers or
they may have,
because of, you know, people from California can watch in Atlanta sort of thing. I was talking to somebody recently. We were talking about virtual versus in person, and she was saying she likes the in person because of the in person things that come with it. And I was like, and I fully understood it, and I was like saying to her also, but what would you do if you just could not? Because we at one point we could not, but what if that could not became the norm? The norm, yeah.
Well, I think it would be hard for a lot of people. Like for myself, I love the vibe of live, because I just think that you get the true experience of who Calandra is when it's live. But you could probably still do that same experience virtual, not having the people in. But I guess you just have to really get creative for us. So I say sometimes you still got to operate as if you can't get in the norm, so that when you do get back, you haven't lost the touch that you have, you know, because going virtual, people can lose that in-person feel. I just like feeding off of the audience and the energy, and I think most people just want an experience. You know, when you pay for things, you go to a restaurant, you ain't really, you know, you paying for the experience.
There, you know. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him.
Right. You paying for the experience. So it's been an adjustment for, I think, for everybody in the industry. It really has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now you find what they call A-listers now coming over to y'all world, podcast and radio. When they used to have to come to you to get on it, now they're creating their own because they still want to be relevant. So now the playing field has leveled out, and they're still A, B, and C. You know, all that good stuff. Well, that.
The A's they're good. You know, they're gonna stay good.
Yeah. I mean, because they've already built their fan base. They don't have to work as hard as we do and get those in. But even in the independent world, there's an A, B, and C. You know, you got the national, you got A, B, and C. But even in our independent world, they're A-listers, they're B, and they're C. And you'll be surprised. It's really, you got the nationals coming on the independent scene now. Nobody's signing back with record labels. Everybody getting rid of those contracts, and they doing independent. Why? Because you keep all your money. At the end of the day, I could have told them that I've been in it 20 years. I ain't had to worry about my masters getting stayed, you know, because I got all mine, you know. So that's it.
Yeah, because, you know, I've talked to a few nationals, a couple of nationals, I'm not say a few, but a couple who, you know, talked about the publishing and all that, you know, all that kind of your masters that you didn't have from, and you've been doing your thing with them for 15 years and you still eating off the road. I heard Snoop Dogg even say that he hasn't never received a royalty check.
Wow.
That's Snoop Dogg.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He's made all his money from the road and everything else.
Yeah. Well, because when you go in, back in the day, it was all about getting that record deal.
You want that, and you want that cash advance.
That cash advance. But see, they didn't realize when you get that cash advance, you got to pay that money back.
You a loan.
That's why it's called advance. So by the time you get the money, they got to get theirs off the rip. Then you got to pay the studio. You got to pay the producer. You got to pay the engineer. You got to pay the touring. Lawyers. You got to pay all that. So by the time you get done, you get a $5,000 check or something, and you sold million copies. Yeah, but I can say on the independent and starting it, I financed my CDs. So I didn't owe anybody. It's a type of contract that you do, and that's what made me, along with Daphne, get a company together. Because a lot of people come into it and they don't know the business side. They just want to get a record deal. There's nothing wrong with it. Let me take this back. Because there were many years I wanted one, but I was associated with a record label that never officially signed me. So I just think that if you want longevity, and then if you want to really see residual of what you're doing, sometimes even distribution deals. I have done a distribution deal for one of my singles, and after doing that, I really didn't see the benefits of that because I didn't have the power of marketing behind it.
Gotcha.
I don't care what kind of deal you sign nowadays. You got to have somebody pushing you still.
Promotion.
Yeah, and you gonna spend a good $10,000 or more on marketing and promotion. You might as well get ready. I don't care if you break it down in payments. You might as well get ready to spend that. But that's what it takes.
Yeah. But what now? That's performance side. Now, what about the in-person church side when churches had to shut down? And congregations couldn't show up. You know what I mean? How has that affected? Do you think that will ever go back to normal, or we've gotten online is like, oh no, it's cool.
Well, I
gotta spend gas.
I think it has made us, as those that the congregation's a little bit lazy. We don't have to go in to church now, and I think the sad thing is there are smaller churches that are suffering because they never had big congregations anyway. And so for those churches, like if I think about some of the churches I dealt with, they didn't have websites. They didn't have I'm telling them to get all these things because the generations change.
Absolutely.
But then all of a sudden the pandemic came in, and you gotta know how to get on Facebook. You gotta know how. You gotta know how to get on Twitter.
You gotta know how to Zoom.
You gotta know how to do all these things. But when you don't listen to that younger generation that says this is where it is now, it is. Not saying get rid of the old, because all of it plays a part in the kingdom. But when you don't have an open mind, and then all of a sudden the world changes in the blink of an eye, and it shuts down, oh God, what are we going to do now?
Absolutely.
What are we going to do now? So I felt my heart went out to the smaller churches because they had no idea about internet streaming and setting up Zoom and getting a streaming service in place. And so they suffer, and a lot of them won't come back. A lot of them won't come back, and they have to start all over again. But then there are some churches, medium size or higher. Those big churches, they already had it in place. So they just had to kind of, make adjustments. So I felt real bad for that. Like I said, I deal with a lot of smaller ministries because my assignment most of the time is to go in and help them build up their music ministry.
Okay.
So I deal with a lot of smaller, sometimes I'm the only one on the praise team when it starts off, but my goal is to go in and set them up and then they can flourish and be better and move forward. But I felt really bad because a lot of them had to find creative ways just to still make it. And some of them now only still have 20 people watching their live feed, but they're trying to go on. But financially, how long can they do that?
How can you sustain?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard even for musicians because now everybody got to pick up 3 jobs on Sundays to make ends meet because their main church can no longer function.
Wow. And see, those are the things when it comes to as a result of the pandemic that you don't think about. You don't think about the certain things that just totally get shut down. It's like watching that movie. It's a cartoon movie, Bees. Do you remember that movie, Deke? Where the bees, something happened to the bees. Did they get shut down? Is that what it was? And as a result, everything around it started to just die off. I'm saying this to say you never really know how important the bee is. To keep things going. And when one piece falls or falters, it starts to domino.
It's a domino effect.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. So if we made it through the pandemic, I always tell the Lord thank you, because if we still in here, and for those singers that didn't know what to do because they just sung, and they just wanted to make a music and didn't have any foundation. Right. I'm grateful that I'm still here, still putting out music, still my definition of my success. Everybody got their own definition of success. Right. Mine is having longevity in an industry where most people be one-hit wonders. And then, it's over. But see, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what I think people fail to realize. Right. Know your craft and know everything else around the craft that can sustain and make you money. Because the money ain't on the stage, I'm telling y'all.
You're right about that. It's just a little piece of it.
It's just a piece.
Little piece of it. Speaking of diversifying your portfolio, Mind Building Academy.
Yes. For some years, I partnered with the church. Well, my one of my background singers and her husband, they attend a church, and they would do concerts and partner with Mind Builders Academy, because I love working with young people. I've always been a youth pastor, and then even teaching a lot of my private students are young kids. I just believe that if you invest in them at a young age, they have a better off chance of making it. So I would partner with them and do a benefit concert and have other artists or comedians, and we would just raise money and get scholarships for those kids that were getting ready to go to college. And
is it only set in the
it was in DeKalb County. It was in DeKalb County area. We hadn't done it in a while with everything changing. Gotcha. But that I'm a big person about community, and sometimes you don't have a lot of funds and money, but if you got a gift, you can use that gift or your expertise to help somebody. Yeah. So that's my whole mindset with that.
Okay. And still keeping in line with them streams. You are the co-CEO of Blue Mile Music Consultants.
Yes, we're 4 years in now. It's myself and another gospel artist or recording artist, Daphne Hilton.
Shout out to Daphne.
Yeah, that's my girl. We came together. We met on a cruise. We knew of each other, had done a couple of shows in the past, but we never really sat down and talked. And we met. We were doing a gospel cruise through Praise Factor Teresa. Pastor T. We were on that cruise, and we just clicked, and we had some of the same values, same morals, same vision. And we knew that being in the industry as long as we have, because combined we have almost over 40 years, 40, 50 years in the industry. We was like, man, we knew what the lack was. We knew that there was some platforms that didn't operate in integrity. There were some things that people were doing to artists coming up. And we have a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge in some areas, strengths and weaknesses. So we was like, okay, well, we're going to come together, create Blue Mile Music, but we don't just entertain gospel music. It's in the industry, period. Right. Right now, we provide event management. You put on an event, we can help you structure it. We do award shows where we help them with their nominations or whatever they need. And now we notice that a lot of our clients, thank you, Jesus, that are coming in are newbies in the industry and need to know music business 101. So we have a boot camp that we take them through. You get a free 30-minute consultation, so you can't beat that. And then we find out how we can help you. And we're very honest. If you ask us to listen to your music, we will tell you. And we will, in our loving Christian way. Right. And we will let you know.
That ain't your call.
Or we will make a suggestion, but understand, we don't know everything. But what we do know, we want to help somebody be the best they can in the industry. So we do writing for films. She's a great songwriter. I'm a songwriter as well. But we do films, all of those great things. We're doing soundtracks. So we're dipping into the industry, period. And then we have got birth out of that, our show, Conversations with Blue Mile.
Right, that's when I asked you about that.
Which we do every Tuesday. And we did not know how that was just gonna blow up. And now we're on 2 networks. internationally as well. And so we've interviewed people from the underground to the top of the list. So behind the scenes, the engineers, producers. And what we like about is that we get very transparent with you, because everybody look at you and think that it's all rosy, but we like to get to the nitty gritty, say, what do you deal with as an artist or as a producer, engineer, and you still making it. So we just, and the other thing is, people don't realize we are artists friends. You need that collaboration. You need that buddy in the industry that you can, that will go with you, that will support you, celebrate you.
And
you
fully
can
understand
what you're going through. You can share ideas and ain't worry about them stealing your ideas. Talking about they thought about that too the other day.
God showed me.
Right. And they ain't even said nothing about it till you said something. Be like, man, you don't even say nothing about that.
You right.
Why you stop lying on Jesus?
You talking about Blue Street.
Right. Stop lying on Jesus. Yeah. And so we and not knowing that we were praying for that, which I know that if you hear her testimony, she'll say she was praying for it. I didn't even know I needed it. And sometimes God knows what we need before we even needed it. So our collaboration has caused us to produce together, write together, work with other artists, and it's been a great God ordained collaboration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now describe your sound, because your song Sweeter has the jazzy kind of sound.
Man, G-Way, let me tell you something. I guess. Well, it came off of this. It's the live project, Praise, Worship, and Soul. And over the years, my sound has transitioned. You know, I grew up on the traditional music, contemporary. Okay. And as I elevated in my industry, in the ministry, my sound began to change. I'm very unique. I don't sound like anybody. They say I look like somebody, but I don't sound like anybody, which is a great thing. But yeah, and this is a song, Sweeter. Actually, Daphne did the vocal arrangement with the background. This is a song that I wrote a couple of years ago, and I wanted to put it under the soul area on the album, because I have praise songs, worship, and then soul. And so soul is not my normal forte. I wanted to come out of my comfort zone. Gotcha. So it's something that I wrote, and we went in the studio, and it was good. You know, a lot of people like it. It's got that soulful feeling, and it's not the norm Christian song that you would hear. Right. The production on it. So it's something we co-wrote and co-produced together, and it's been really good, getting real good feedback.
Now, was that you scatting at the end of?
That was me scatting.
A little scat.
I like to scat. I like to scat. I like to scat a little bit. You know, I have another jazz. You know, sometimes I get into jazz. I love jazz. You know, Billie Holiday. I love the Billie Holidays, all those Ella Fitzgerald blues, jazz. All of those great singers. So, yeah, I go with the feel. I'm a live person. So if I feel like scatting, I'm a scat. It's all what I feel like.
Right.
Really.
So it being the soul portion segment or section of the album, does that also entail like songs that are not necessarily gospel?
On this album, we have a song called "Oh How I Love Jesus." Now let me I'm saying this because when I play the song, the first thing Daphne them said, that ain't Jesus. That ain't God. Because it almost have like a the R&B sound. So yeah, but it's a
coming
great
out sound
song.
like Marvin Gaye. What we hearing?
Right. Well, when you hear, if you go out and you hear "Oh How I Love Jesus," you'll hear what we're saying. Okay. It's different. Not on this project, but when I do live, I do incorporate old school R&B like Gap Band.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Gap Band, Stevie Wonder. So that's why I love live instrumentation, because I will arrange a song,
you can play around with
and then at the end we'll add some outstanding in there at the end of one of my songs, and people love it, you know. So
I nostalgia.
Yeah, I'm an old school girl. I did it New Year's Eve, and them folks there, like them church folks, like they don't know how to dance.
You know.
They were dancing. I said, y'all know what this is. Come on,
come on here with that suit.
Come on,
two-step.
Right? They was outstanding, and there is no doubt. They was in there. I was like, hey, you know, because I rewrite the song, and they was like, oh, we got some Gap Band tonight. I said, listen, God made all music.
Absolutely.
Y'all need to understand this. If it wasn't meant for us to listen to, I don't think it would be here. You know, it's just like what you do with it. That's in everything. So everything he created was good. It's what we do with it that makes it defamed or ugly. You know, God, everything He created was good. It's just what we do with it. That messes it up.
Was there ever a thought to go R&B, the R&B route?
Professionally, I don't think I could do it, but I will sing it live. Because I've done Valentine shows where I've had to do Luther. Okay. And also I will sing it, but I don't think I could record it professionally because I don't think I would thrive in it because it's
and why is that?
I don't know. Now I may do an inspirational one where the music can go either way. You know, just inspirational. I would do a jazz album. You know, I would do a jazz, but I don't know about R&B. My mindset would have to be. I really would have to be driven to do that. I can write it, but I don't know if I could professionally record it. You know, and then be as successful as I am with what I'm doing now.
Okay. Speaking of, you said you could write it. What do you think about a gospel artist, gospel or Christian gospel artist writing R&B songs?
I don't have a problem
for R&B.
I don't have a problem with that because.
Is there a limit?
Well, no, they can't get all.
Can they smack it, flip it, and rub it down?
Well, I don't know about that. Right. But let me tell you this.
She's like, I already got a song. Waiting for the right artist. Still trying to get in touch with Mary.
Well, let me tell you. Well, because I know. I mean, I can only use the example that we have. Right. When we write, some of our clients, they are R&B clients. Now we won't get, as long as it doesn't compromise our faith. Then we good. But now we won't get all sexually explicit. You know, in the song. But there are ways you can write and let people, deal with people's imagination.
You gotta let the mind wander.
Because I like the song called "Her" by Isaac Curry.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So and see what they need to do. Let me tell the Christians something now, because song. Have you read the book of Song of Solomon?
Oh yeah. He gets busy.
Song of Solomon is busy in the atmosphere. So that's why I said, make sure you know what you're talking about. Because Song of Solomon talk about all the parts of the body using imagery.
Use imagery, right. Absolutely.
So you can be a writer without getting explicit in your writing. And love the Lord. I love the Lord with all my heart. But if somebody want to pay me some money to write an R&B song.
Well, listen, Whitney Houston sang, there was never a time that she did not talk about God and Jesus. But she sang her love song.
Yes, she sang her love song.
Never compromised any of it.
Patty LaBelle.
She knew the assignment.
She knew.
That's what I'm saying. Deacon Dirt, I think you might be saved. I think you might be saved, sir. Yes. And you have to, but see, that's where you got to you got to have a balance. You can have a balance. And let me tell you, there are some Christians, I used to be like that, where all I listened to was gospel music. And I had somebody tell me, they was like, you don't have balance in your life.
Right.
Because there is great music out there. And now my CD collection is over 5. I don't know how many CDs I got of all styles of music. Classical, blues, jazz, country. I'll write a gospel country song in a minute. But what I'm
down Old Town Road.
And let me tell you something, country people support country people.
Oh, absolutely.
If that's the field you ever want to go in some country, because they going to support that whining. Oh, I'm sorry, they don't whine. But the country music, the tears and the blues and the, he left me in the bar and everything.
What's that one? Whiskey.
Tennessee Whiskey.
Man,
let me tell you something
right there.
Tennessee Whiskey.
I got turned on to that. I was like, this is hot.
Yes, Tennessee Whiskey is the bomb. You know what I'm saying? So you can all journalism. And when you think about it, all of it generate from gospel.
And you know what? I always refer to country music as blues with a twang.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. If you listen to old Southern gospel, it's a mixture.
Yeah.
Country, blues, they play with the So, I mean, all of it stems from each other. Think about it. They tried to put Mahalia Jackson out because they thought she was too secular even in her time.
Right.
Because of how she did it, So, I think you can love the Lord, have a great relationship with God, and still write R&B music. Look at Kirk Franklin. I only assume he's a Christian and he believes in God, but he works with everybody. and he's still saved.
Who's that? J Moss.
J Moss, J Moss.
Dietrich.
Yeah.
Dietrich had it.
We had him on. He talked about
Yeah,
writing and everything. Yeah,
writing, because love is love.
Love is
you
love.
know, and it has a different interpretation. And but God ordained certain things. It's what we do with it.
Yeah.
that makes it bad. He ordained everything is good.
And the way we shake our finger at it,
Yeah.
and turn our nose up when it becomes.
And that's why people don't want to deal with us. Cause we always putting our finger out.
Not demon time, judgment time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we can't reach nobody if we in this heavenly box.
There
I tell
you-
people all the time, you so holy, you ain't no earthly good. Can't nobody talk to you.
Yeah.
Who you gonna reach?
They all up in the rafters.
Who you gonna reach
Yeah.
when you up in the 7th level of heaven, and everybody else down here.
Father God.
Right. So who you gonna? All I wanted was a hamburger. That's all I wanted.
Right,
And I got 25 scriptures.
Gave me all this.
I'm just telling, and I'm not knocking it. People got to
you
grow.
Speaking right now.
Yeah, I'm serious. All I asked for was, where is the hamburger?
You speaking right now.
Even Jesus ran with some thugs, man.
You know what I'm saying?
If you look in
They
the
was
Bible,
about it.
they-
You know what I'm
listen. Jesus went to the prostitutes. He went to the people that people didn't want to deal
wanna
with.
deal
He
with.
wasn't dealing with the church folks. Jesus was in them streets, touching them people that they would consider unclean
Woman at the well,
and
like,
leprosy.
y'all don't talk to us.
Right. He knew her business. He knew she had about 50
Right.
million women.
We know you
men.
out here.
Excuse me.
Could have been some women too. Who
I'm
knows?
sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to revise the story. Y'all ain't gonna get
No,
me in
heretic.
trouble with the scholars. But that's the thing though. So we always say, what would Jesus do? Well, he
Yeah.
would not.
Well, read it. You'll see. What
And you really think about it, he would go to the people that they considered lowly or thieves or robbers,
Yeah.
because that's who needed him.
Well, shoot. I can tell you that for a fact. That was me.
Listen.
So thank you, Jesus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
we all done dealt with some
Yeah,
things,
you know what I mean?
but he did not turn away from us.
Exactly.
Because he saw the potential in us. So imagine if we tapped into a lot of the people that we throw away
Right.
because they don't meet our standards or criteria. I ain't talking about relationships now. I'm talking about just in dealing with people,
right.
in general, and showing agape love, which is unconditional love. That you can't have that conditional love because God don't have a conditional love for us.
Right.
You a mess, and he still wake you up every morning because he see the potential in you.
Yeah.
So we need to start seeing potential in people and not just, oh, they ain't no good. Somebody said you wasn't no good, but
sure
you
enough.
here. You here thriving. So eventually somebody had to take a moment and say, you know what? I'm going to tap into that.
Yeah.
I'm going to help them out.
Yeah.
That's all. I ain't saying you can help the whole world, but
Yeah,
if you help
of
one
course.
person, that person can then help somebody else. So
Absolutely.
eventually it becomes a domino effect and everybody helping each other.
Right. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. So let's talk about the book. The book. What was the name of the book? I wrote it. I don't know. I wrote it down. I thought I wrote it down.
I understand y'all
You got it?
podcast. The Inspirational Series.
Inspirational Series.
Volume 1, a 30-day motivational book.
Okay, we should have been had that out. Hold it up. Will you put it to camera one?
Hello. Go ahead, because I need 15 people to go to.
15 people.
Can I say some places I interview, I can't say the company name.
We could say what you want.
Amazon. I need you to go to Amazon. I just did an interview and I couldn't say Amazon, so I was just like, I don't know what that's about. But I need you to go get this book because I need to be a bestseller on Amazon. Let's support each other. But basically,
What's the book about?
Well, it's about. I used to post on social media an inspirational thought every morning.
Okay.
And I'm the type of person that I say stuff people want to say, but they don't say. And I would post, and people would be like, "Man, this just right here." They was like, "Wait, I need you to put this on the calendar." And I was already writing it in my journal.
Okay.
So it was already journaling, and then I would come out of meditation and then just write out what came to me. And so it would be a thought and it would be a nugget about, one of them is about get out of your own way. A lot of time we blaming God and we blaming things, but we're the reason why we're not moving forward in a lot of the things that we do. So I would basically give them an inspirational thought, then give them a nugget every day. So I said, well, you know what, let's just go ahead and put it in a book.
Yeah.
It ain't got to be something large. And so when I decided to step out on faith
Especially
and
with my
do it,
attention span. Thank you.
Right. So when I decided to go and do it, everything fell into place. The money did. A Christian publishing company, somebody that I knew. So within like a month, it was done. It was edited. It was ready. I had a book signing out here in it's out here.
Not far from here.
Not far from here. Morrow, somewhere out there. It's a bookstore. It's a black bookstore out there.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
For some reason, is it a shopping plaza?
It is.
Yeah.
And I was able to set up out there. Did really.
I should have known how to come out.
Yeah, did really well. But with music, it's hard to push this as well. So I have to remind people that I'm an author as well.
Gotcha.
And we're already working on the part volume 2.
Okay.
But I just wanted to share some inspirational, and it doesn't matter what faith you are, because it mentions God, but it mostly mentions about just dealing with everyday things that we deal with.
Struggles.
Yeah. Whether it's about carrying weight that he never intended us to carry, just trying to please people, just different, just different things, and about just keeping your word and the power of your tongue and those different things. So it doesn't matter what faith you are, because what you speak out of your mouth will manifest in your life. I'm a living witness of that, and I live it every day. So that was the main purpose of this book. So I'm just grateful, so I can put on my thing. I'm an author. Catch me on Amazon. Let me tell you.
Of that, speaking of things and watching it manifest, I had been reading, and Hezekiah had become my focal for some reason.
Okay.
And the focal because he was told, hey, you gonna die.
Yep, he did. He was told.
And he's like, but I don't want to die. You know what I'm saying? All right, then the prophet go back to God, and God say, well, tell him he got 15 more. I'm gonna normally I don't do this,
right?
But I'm gonna break him off with 15 more. And so we watched God change his mind.
Yeah,
and that had just been this thing that has just been in my mind. And I'm saying that to say this. And so I've been lamenting over this thing, and I'm like, God, you know what I'm saying. And when I got the response from the people, it was sorry to inform you.
Right.
Sorry. And I was like, hold up. Nah, God. I'm gonna need to holler at you, pimping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
he wants you to talk to him like that.
Yeah, I'm serious. It was coming out.
Yeah.
Literally 2 days later, an email came to say, you have been approved. Dot. And I was like, you know what? You are something else.
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes we have to be careful, and we're human. Don't get me wrong, we're human. Yeah. But when that doubt comes in, I've learned how to shut my mouth, because the doubt will have you say something.
Speaking, there you go.
And then you have to retract because a minister, I heard him say something before. He said that when you put something out in the atmosphere, the angels attached to it. You got either the angels of manifestation or the ones that are gonna. So whatever you say, you can say something
it's gonna
today.
Get carried out somewhere.
Right. It's gonna manifest somewhere. So if I say something today, it may not happen tomorrow, but somewhere down the line, what I said will manifest in my life. So you got to be careful that when the doubt come in, that you shut your mouth until your faith rises up and you can speak. You know what? I got this. And I can honestly say this whole week, I started out speaking something that I needed. And I needed God to manifest, because he knows your situation.
Absolutely.
He know I'm walking by faith.
Yes.
I'm a full-time ministry. I'm doing this, and my bills still got to be paid. So I said, well, you know what, God, I'm going to have this, and this this week. Yes. And I got a phone call the next day and had this, and that. And so that's how I know it works. So every day I do affirmations. I got me some index cards, and everything, every avenue in my life that I want stuff to manifest, I write it on that index cards and I speak it out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And financially, I say that my income comes in increasing quantities, multiple sources. Yes. I have the purse of the spirit. It goes out, but it comes back in. It is. So I know it got to go out, but as soon as it go out, it's coming right back in.
Yeah.
So I speak that every day over my finances, so that I don't care nothing about spending money, because I know as soon as I spend it, it's going to flip around and come back. So that's how we have to get.
Right now, because you all in my business. Is what I'm saying.
I don't even know you like that. I don't even know you like that.
Right. You know
I just met you, shout. I don't know you like that.
So don't play with me.
Right.
No, but for real, no, you really are. I'm telling you, hitting it, because these are the things that have literally been my focal points here lately, and it's like, you know what, dude, you got to trust God.
You just got to trust him
the more. You know what I mean?
It's a crazy faith. It's a season of I said it the other day. I said it's this season of crazy faith to the 10th power, because nothing is sure now.
Yeah.
Inflation is up.
Yeah.
I went in the grocery store and all the aisles are just bare. But I knew a month ago God told me to start buying canned goods. I don't like to eat out of them, but we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
But guess what? He said, I've been young and I've been old, but I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor their seed begging bread. I believe God for that. That no matter if they shut the stores, I'm still gonna eat. That's the kind of God I serve.
Absolutely.
So you got to have that mentality that
Absolutely.
even if the famine, if the famine come in the land, even if you think about the stories in the Bible, they had
Joseph.
to store up.
Yeah.
And they didn't believe, but then the famine came through, but they had their goods ready.
Yeah.
So we don't live in fear, but you got to live in wisdom.
But you got to live in wisdom.
You got to live in wisdom.
I always
Don't live
tell
in
people,
fear.
Deal with the reality in front of you.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and be... You know what I'm saying?
We live in the world. We're not of it.
Yeah.
But I can't walk around here and act like stuff ain't happening because I believe in God. No,
Right.
it's happening.
Right.
But I don't worry about it because he got me. But if he say, Calandra, get up, go to the store and do, I'm supposed to get up and do it because he knows before I do.
Right.
So it's like, I ain't scared. I ain't scared. What he say? I ain't never scared.
I ain't never scared.
That's what he said. Where he at anyway? I ain't never scared.
That's
Bone Crusher. Yes. I ain't never scared. Oh yes, I'm saved and I know Bone Crusher.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
I know Bone Thugs and Harmony too. That was the group right there. What you talking about?
I miss my Uncle Charles.
I know. Golly. Yes, I do miss my Uncle Charles. Wait a minute. That was the
funny.
group though, yeah.
Yeah, no, but you are really saying some things right now because I was telling somebody recently, they had said something. I was like, your words are your medicine.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
You got to stop. See, I'm just playing. Listen, don't play because you said it. You know what I'm saying? Even when I go to start, when you said I shut my mouth, I get ready to say something like, nope, let me just say it to God right up from here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in my mind like, God, you know what it is. And I don't even put the words out.
You got to be quiet. Even they tell you, even when you get angry, you can get angry, but sin not. So when I get angry, whether I disagree, sometimes I've learned now, but see, you got to be disciplined to do that thing because it's we get into our defense mechanism and sometimes they be like, why you quiet? I said, because I'm kind of perturbed.
Because I'm going to kill you.
And I'm about to say something because when you put words in the atmosphere, you can't take them back.
Can't take them back.
Think about this. You say something to somebody.
You're listening to though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's what
of course, he knows your weaknesses. Yeah, and I'd be like, you know what? Let me not say anything because even if I apologize, you still gonna remember what you said and how it made you feel. So let me be quiet until we can have a civilized conversation. Right. And I'm not in my feelings.
It's hard to unring a bell.
It's hard to unring a bell.
It is. We can apologize.
But they say you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't. You know what I'm saying?
You can't. You squeeze it out. It ain't going back in. You might well use it then because it ain't going back in. But you have to be careful. And I tell people all the time, we can apologize all day. And don't get me wrong, that's what we should do. Right. The Word of God tells us, we ask for forgiveness and then we got to forgive. But you always remember.
Oh yeah.
What that made you feel like. So that's why we got to be mindful of what we say.
You hear that, Mom? Say that.
Out here apologizing.
Right.
In the blue note,
girl, I.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That is crazy. But you know what? You really can say anything to anybody. It's how you say it.
It's how your tone.
I told somebody, I can tell somebody that dress is not pretty at all, but it's how I say it and the tone that I use. And be like, girl, let me tell you.
All in the tone.
That's what I tell people. And I'm a tone person, so I know when you mad. And I'm be like, don't say nothing because your tone ain't right. Watch your tone. You can tell me anything, but watch your tone when you tell me. Because I be like, baby girl, did you see, girl, let me tell you about this. And it's just about getting the tone. And they be like, for real? And then they gonna go change that dress. And I ain't said nothing about you look ugly in that dress. I ain't said, I just said, girl, I don't think girl, look at that.
It's after Labor Day.
Right. So words are powerful.
They are, man. And it's even the smallest of the things that you could say that could really affect something in someone. I didn't post this yet. Don't take it. But we've been saying this since we was a child. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me.
It's a lie.
I changed it. Sticks and stones may break my bones, and your words how to say. Something about your words can harm you, something like that.
Yeah.
But in other words, we've been saying this for years about the words can't. But meanwhile, every time you turn around, somebody's words are affecting you.
Yeah, because they think that when you break a bone, it'll heal up. But guess what? That emotional abuse, that verbal abuse.
I remember what my mama said to me.
Yeah.
The day she said it, where I was standing when she said it, how I felt when she
Yeah.
said it. Now, shout outs to my mother, because we cool as a fan. But she know. We cool.
Yeah.
But I remember it. And if I think about it too hard, I can conjure up the emotion that I felt. And I'm like, hold up now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the words do hurt. And sometimes we don't mean to say it, but hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people.
So if you hurting, don't open up your mouth to say anything.
But see, the thing is, even with that, I tell people are hurting and don't even know it.
Let me tell you, and I'm gonna be very transparent.
Yeah.
My mother died, and for a minute, if you don't grieve, I was dealing with depression because I didn't want to move, but I was the oldest, preaching her funeral and taking care of business and doing all this stuff, and never took time to grieve. And so eventually, I began to do things and say things and hurt people, not intentionally, not intentionally, but because they had been through it, they understood it.
Yeah.
So it's different, but everybody not gonna understand it. And then when I owned up, because you gotta own up to what you do.
You go, speak that.
Own up to it, girl.
I'm spitting.
Girl, I'm. Let me tell you something. I just say, girl, I'm so sorry. I said I need a therapist. Let's be real with it. And I want to tell you, Christians, ain't nothing wrong to go see a psychiatrist or a therapist. God created them. He gave them and there are Christian therapists out there that can meet you in your faith. I said, girl, I'm so sorry. I said I need to be still because I have not grieved for my mother.
Yeah.
I have not grieved, and I'm saying things knowing that that's not what I mean because we good.
But it's coming from a hurt place.
But I'm hurt. And when you own up to the hurt, then you can begin to heal.
Yeah.
Y'all walk around here acting like y'all ain't hurting, ain't going through anything, and you out here spitting on people, cutting people with your words because you hurt. You're not a bad person, you're hurting.
You're hurting. Yeah.
And if you're hurting, you want everybody else to experience your hurt.
There you go.
Because you don't want to be by yourself. But guess what? Acknowledge your hurt so that you can heal.
Yeah.
That's
Talk
it.
to somebody, don't hold it in.
Yeah.
What I always say, dude, something that occurs, I start talking. I'm like, I got to get this off me, because
not just like physically that can harm you too.
Yeah, of course.
You got
all the time.
stress. Yeah,
of course. You run around here stroking and ain't nothing wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Because
you're right.
I don't know.
Right, because you hurting, and physical, it will eventually eat you up
It
on the
will.
inside. So
Absolutely.
if you don't want to go to a therapist, find you somebody that's strong enough to handle it, because everybody not strong enough to deal with it.
Yeah.
But find you your friend or your confidant and you got to have somebody with a no judgment zone.
There you go.
The people I'm
Facts.
with, it's no judgment zone. I can say anything to them and they ain't gonna judge me, even if they don't agree with it.
That's deep right there. I'll be up in here like, you good, bro.
This is when I come in here, I tell them off the top before we even start doing this, man. It's like we gotta have.
We release.
We
just start talking about stuff.
What happened during the week? What happened last week? Whatever.
That's it.
We
Let it
come
go.
in, we do the show, and then afterwards we vent some more.
Walk
That's
out
what I'm
feeling
saying.
lighter. Like,
you really will.
Right.
You really will. And I promise you, when I acknowledge that hurt, then the relationship with that person begin to get better.
There you go.
Because I owned up to it, and they appreciated that I owned up to it and just didn't say, "Oh no, you tripping." Ain't that wrong with me? That you just did it. No, I'm sorry. I don't even know. Maybe I haven't finished grieving.
Right.
Or maybe I didn't even start to grieve. I said, let me sit back and look at this thing and look at myself. So in every situation, the first thing I do, I look at myself first.
Yeah.
Now, if I ain't crazy and ain't that wrong with me, then you need to get yourself together. It's you then.
Let's do a PSA real quick.
Sure.
And
Message.
For those of you out there, if you find somebody and they trust you enough to come tell you and just, kind of let it all out, don't go back and tell that bitch.
Yeah. Facts, though.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, my grandmother, I always told people my grandmother was the vault. You could say whatever people have told my grandmother many of things that I'm certain she took to that grave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because she wasn't that kind of talk. She said, no, I mind my business.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's how I kind of I learned. My mother says the same thing. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you telling me something, I got you.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about it hitting Facebook. You know, in some roundabout message.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What if
That meme was from me.
Yep. What if
I said that yesterday.
your friend got a boyfriend who's somebody else's boyfriend?
Right.
You know, be like, didn't I just tell this? Then you gonna call them out their name. Didn't I just tell them?
Right.
This being right here. And she on that Facebook just
Right
put
on her live.
I'm finna go knock on her door right
I
now.
know you're home because you're on your live.
Right. I wish you would tell my, so
Yeah.
you got to have that confidant
True
that
that.
you can tell somebody. Yes, you can tell God. Don't get me wrong.
course.
Everybody say that first. I tell God everything, but we live in a physical world.
Yes.
And we need physical touch. That's one of the love languages. Know your love language. I'm a big person about that. Know your love language in your friendships and your relationships, and that will help you communicate with each other. Know if you're a giver, acts of service, quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation. Because some people need words of affirmation because they missed it when they were young. So that's their love language. So you got to know it. And I didn't get into that until my circle changed.
Gotcha.
And we started to have mature conversations because if you run around with them children, you ain't gonna have
Still
them
talking about cheering
them
things.
children. You still talking about cheering things that when I was a child.
Yeah.
I spake as a child.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? When I got old, them things shiny. Yes.
Yeah, and with that, you like you just said, your circle it changes. It starts morphing into that direction or that direction.
It does.
It's that birds of a feather. You know, you hang with 9 broke friends, you're bound to be the 10th one.
Oh my!
You know what I'm saying?
I don't do that.
And you generally, who has said, Delamons has said that when he was here. He had said, we were doing an interview and he said, you hang with people even within your financial bracket.
Okay.
Without even really thinking about it.
Okay.
You know, because you kind of attract to what
you do.
What you are.
You do.
And so you have to kind of watch your circle and move accordingly.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. And you'll find out as you evolve and grow, your circle will change.
It will change.
If it doesn't change, there's some issues. It doesn't mean you don't love those people anymore. That was a big thing for me to accept. My circle changed as I got mature or wiser in my craft. I couldn't hang around those people because they weren't ready to go up. And you will not bring up everybody with you.
That's right.
You want to do it. I have that heart as well, but everybody ain't ready to get there. And sometimes
they don't see your vision. They don't see it.
Right, but and sometimes you bring them up prematurely. That's why you're struggling.
There you go.
You bring them up prematurely, and they weren't ready for it. God gives us free will. He ain't gonna never make you not. He give you free will and everything. But some people we bring up prematurely because that's my road dog. Road dog ain't ready. They don't. And you got to be okay with that. But if you want to lead a block, leave the block. Go back and see them. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm just catching up. But you keep it moving because some people comfortable struggling from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Some people like it because there's no accountability. There's no growth. Some people like that. I don't like struggling. God didn't say I was to struggle. He said I'm to live a prosperous life in abundance. He said I come that you have life and have it more abundantly. He didn't say I'm going to struggle there will be seasons of tribulation and trouble, but he ain't never want me to live paycheck to paycheck.
And what's crazy about it, a lot of people become conditioned to that, living that way.
That's true.
Yeah. It's generational. It's generational. I say every day I'm going to be a multi-millionaire.
Hello.
I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family. I speak over my life every day. And then I will get in the billionaire stage. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, eventually it's got to manifest. I might be 50 years old, but it's going to happen.
It's going to
I ain't got but 5 more years to go, but it's going to happen.
I thought you was 27.
Baby, you preaching. I need y'all to go to his Cash App. And I need y'all to, give it to him. I need y'all to sow into this man of God because he just prophetically spoke a word that I am 25 years old.
Hey to the man.
Hezekiah gave 15 more.
Yes, God.
The book,
yes,
Inspirational Series, Amazon.
Yes, it's on my website too.
Okay, they can get it.
You can get a website or Amazon. I prefer you go to Amazon, please.
Okay.
Because then it can ebook. You can get it on ebook.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
you don't have to have a hard copy.
Gotcha.
If you go to the website, I have to mail you the hard copy, but it'll be a signed copy.
Well, I want a signed copy.
Yes.
So I'm purchasing one of them.
Oh, okay, awesome. Look at God. I need you to sow that seed back
I need about
into
7
him.
people to get in line.
And sow a seed. Right. Ooh,
And if you
them
don't have
services,
a partner with someone.
right. When I go to services and they be doing that, I be like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah, it's time to go.
I need the $100 people to get in line.
Like I got $2, bro.
God didn't send me here with $100
Right.
today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I get it though. Everybody got their thing. I get it.
Right. That's
get
too
it.
funny.
I get it.
I see you tiptoeing around now. Like, I got you. Oh, man, that is
That
too
is funny.
Oh, man. All right. So they can get the book on Amazon. They can get the
Yes.
music on all the streaming. Let me hold it up again. They go to.
You can get the book and the music.
go
This
to
the
one?
album. Yes.
You on one? Yeah. Get
Awesome.
Get that.
Yes. And go get this album too now.
Oh, and get the project. That's what is it? Again?
It's the Praise
Worship and Soul Experience Live, Volume 1.
Volume 1. I write in volumes, y'all. I'm just telling you. If you go out there and Google me, I got like, don't ask how many albums out there, but albums and singles. But I've been writing for 20 plus years. So, but this
I like that.
this project is one that was finished right after my mother died. It took me 5 years to do it. I went back to the drawing board.
Okay.
That's a whole lesson that I can teach artists about when they get ready to release their project. That sometimes you just gotta say no and go back when it ain't quality and just start over.
Yeah.
From the beginning, but
Yeah.
but it's special to me because the album release concert was dedicated to my mom in memory of her. But this project is out there, the singles are out there. Just go get it, support it, buy it, request it, whatever you need to do, and just support.
That's what's up.
Yep.
Well, Miss Calandra Gantt,
Yes.
I am so glad that we got the opportunity to
I
sit down and
know.
talk. Like I said, we've been seeing each other over the years.
I
and
know.
Talking about it. And I know when we saw it, it's like, yo, you coming through the show.
I know, right?
And
Yeah.
you here. And this was really good. This was fun.
It was
fun.
good
And
stuff.
you said some things. You
Good
don't even
stuff.
know right now. You said some things.
Good stuff.
You thought you was just talking, but you said some
I know.
things.
Sometimes I don't know when to be quiet. though.
Let them use you, girl. So where can people find out more about you?
Yes, you can go to my website. It's Calandra Gantt, and that's with 2 T's and not one. Okay, CalandraGantt.com, and you can connect with me on all social media. Find out my calendar where we'll be. Also order all of my music as well as the album and the book. If you just don't like Amazon, some people are not internet savvy, but just go to the website and it has all of the information about the ministry on there.
That's what's up. Is there an audio book?
There is not audiobook. That's
No
a
audio?
great,
Okay.
That's a great idea. Oh, look at Jesus. We might look into that and do it audio for this book. Multiple streams.
There you go.
Of
Yeah,
income.
we do audio books here at WadeWorksStudios. Just throwing that out.
Oh,
It's a
okay
lob.
then. Look at.
It's an alley oop.
Okay. Well, that's good to know though, because I never thought about doing it as an audio book. So that could be great to do. We'll talk about that. You know,
Okay.
I'm always looking for streams of income now, because a lot of people, I listen to the Bible audio. So
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
people do audio when they riding on long journeys.
Exactly.
So that's
Road
a,
trip.
That's my
right.
thing.
That's a great thing to do. Okay, that's a good idea.
That's what's up. Well, again, thank you so much for coming through.
Yes,
A
thank you for having
pleasure.
me.
Keep us posted on everything
Yes.
that's going on.
Yes.
I know you got 2022 is just nothing but big things popping.
We hoping. We trying to get the bookings out there. We trying to get booked and we put it out there. So y'all, you can go on there, contact me and book us as well. Videos are out there. So if you need to see the ministry,
Yeah.
you can see videos and see what we bring to the table to bring us to whatever your event is.
That is what it is. It's your boy G-Wade holding it down, G-Wade Podcast, and I'm kicking it alongside with my man Deacon.
Dirty.
Y'all know what it is. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy G-Wade holding it down, and I want to thank you all for tuning into this episode of the G-Wade Podcast. Now, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Click that notification bell to stay up on all the latest videos and content that we post. And we just appreciate everything.
Oh, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at G-Wade Podcast. Till then.